In this lecture, we talk about waste management, which is also the last topic we're supposed to cover in this semester. So, waste management actually is often addressed with the public waste or other types of waste management. So when we put waste management in the operations management context, then there are actually no specific theories or methodologies we can directly adopt. So here we actually try to summarize what we have addressed in this semester, which I think most of topics will actually lead to improvement of waste reduction. And then we further summarize the some practices from research articles or internet publications. We also have a guest lecture, Carl, and he actually from selling responsible for waste management in selling group. I think that's actually the very good viewpoint for you to see what the waste management actually looks like in real world. So the guest lecture will be the focus of this session. Here I recommend one article. So the causes of food waste in the supplier retailer interface, evidences from UK and Spain. Through this article, you actually can see some general operational opportunities for waste management. In general, we're going to talk about the waste types and the sources, waste prevention and management, waste management plan and system, food waste management in action. So the learning objectives will be knowing about the waste types, understanding why waste occur, especially in the supply chain or the retailer operations process, and then understand waste elimination opportunities. And then we also talk about gain practical insights about waste management in reality, especially or particularly about food waste management. So since Lean has a focus on reducing the wastes, so we actually can see the waste management has a direct Lean relevance in retailer operations. So here we're talking about the Lean operations based on the concept of the per inventory management equals to more waste. So that's actually first point or issue we would like to raise. So in most articles or research, you can see successful inventory management will definitely help to reduce, even eliminate wastes. So here we also emphasize the information systems, the function of information systems to facilitate successful inventory management. And in more details, inventory control will actually requires the better forecasting, and the better forecasting will actually improve the business or the operations to better fit with your real world demand, and then reduce redundant orders, and of course lead to the lower inventory, will also directly lead to the lower waste. And the perishable product inventory control is also one important topic. Here we actually often see the discussion about the perishable products normally has a short shelf life. The short shelf life products normally actually lead to the most significant, or we see is a higher waste. So that's also the focus of waste management. And then a successful inventory control policy or method or the systems will definitely help to manage the perishable product. And the perishable product waste also related to the retailing handling process. And the better ordering tracking is also related to the waste management, and it's definitely from the inventory control process. So the company or the retailer knows exactly where the product positioned or located, and when the product will be expired or going to obsolete, and so on. So order tracking actually is very important for waste management. And then we're talking about the efficient logistics network. So you reduce the transportation, you reduce the waste or the pollution, and the shorter transportation time also achieves better customer service and also lower inventory level. And then we can see supply chain collaboration will also contribute to the waste management. So if we're talking about to transform the supply chain into the pooled supply chain, basically we're talking about match supply and demand in a better way, and then they will also contribute to the lower waste. And then share risk. So if you're talking about all the contracts or other mechanisms between the supply chain players, they also help to reduce the waste. And then we're talking about improved store level operations. So that's actually will be addressed in the guest lecture in more details. So if you participate in the guest lecture, you may see they were talking about how to check the orders, how to actually explore the wastes in the retailer store levels, and so on. In general, or in all, we would like to see improve the entire retailer operations process. Will actually help to improve the waste, or we say reduce the waste. So improve the operations generally will contribute to lower waste. So I actually uploaded this white paper or this annual report from Walmart. So as a representative of a typical large grocery retailer, and you can see they actually have a clear waste management goals, and then you can find a lot of information about each individual companies. That's also what I suppose to suggest to you to check each company's waste management goals, or to see how the Danish retailers actually handle the waste, food waste, fashion material waste, and so on. So the company actually may give you very good examples, ideas about how to manage the waste. So in this picture, you can see actually the progress towards goals in 2019 in Walmart, and then you can see Walmart global waste destination mix. And they actually also tells us where the waste actually goes, go to, or how to actually handle the waste generated in your operations. And so that's actually the best way to know about waste management, or to learn about waste management, learn from the current business practices. So if you go through, if you browse the internet of different Danish retailers, you can easily find the waste management relevant information through their sustainability links, or responsibility links, and so on, waste and recycling from Cooper. So I have some links here. It will be interesting for you to go through them. They may also help you to learn about to find something useful for your group project. We talk about share your findings in Padlet, but given you are now already focus on your exam report or project report. So this is actually not required anymore. So let's see the waste types very briefly. So now you can see the types of waste in retailing. The first type actually is packaging waste. I don't know if you have had some visual experience about how many packaging used during the transportation and retailing processes. So basically, packaging materials actually is a very major type of waste. And then next step is a spoiled waste, spoiled food. Food waste actually has been become a hot topic for research, given different regulations and the company's strategic objectives. So you can find a lot of information about food waste management. And then we can also see the plastic waste and the bottles and packaging and so on. Damaged fruits, that's also the perishable. We say it's perishable products or fresh products. And then organic waste and cardboard waste. And then we have see the glass, assorted metallic waste, and the clothes, different fabric wastes, and the e-waste. So a lot of different types of waste. So dealing with different types of waste, you may need different equipments or technologies. So in this lecture, we focus more on the general packaging waste and the food waste. So we're talking about food waste management. Actually, because we're interested in how to prevent waste, here we see it waste prevention. So waste prevention and management includes the management and reduction of waste generated during the operations and the maintenance of retailer stores through appropriate reduction, sorting, collection, reuse, refilling, recycling, disposal, or monitoring the waste materials. So there is actually no standard way for all the companies to actually take away. So here is more like the reduction, waste reduction, basically related to the operations excellence. So as long as you can reduce the waste by better forecasting, inventory control, supply chain collaboration, or whatever we mentioned. So that's actually all about waste reduction. It's not necessary we mention, okay, this work is about reduce waste. So general operations excellence efforts will all or most likely lead to the waste reduction. And then sorting, collection, reuse, refilling, recycling, or disposal. This actually is more like daily actions or daily activities in your operations. So it's related to how to sort the waste, how to collect the waste, how to what waste can be reused or recycled, or some waste has to be disposed. And monitoring of waste materials. This actually requires a kind of information system. We call it a waste management plan or waste management system. So a retailer sets waste management plan. So here particularly mention the set. So the set waste management plan were introduced to reduce the amount of waste produced by a business. So this is actually just a plan, and then this plan are used by retailer business to plan how any waste produced by their business will be managed. And then this plan will contain important information such as what waste needs to be recycled, disposed, or reused, or how the business will complete these processes. So this actually is directly related to the daily waste management activities. So it's not generally it's not a general operations. It's definitely related to specific waste. So for example, if you're talking about packaging waste, for example, so the plan must be regularly updated to ensure it accurately reflects the waste needs and obligations of the business. So if you can separate different types of waste, come up with different handling strategies, then you actually can systematically improve the waste management performance. Technically, there is no legal requirement for retailer business to have such a waste management plan, but introduce or design such a plan will definitely benefit the business. So as we mentioned, the waste management plan ensures all the waste created is disposed of in the correct way and ensures efficient waste management system are in place. So here that actually mentions another support tool. It's called a waste management system. So it can normally should be an information system like an inventory control system. Identifies areas where businesses are creating excess waste and reduce amount of waste a retailer business contributes to landfill. So this system actually just a suggestion is not necessarily stand alone from the normal retailer operations process, but it's actually quite stand alone or separate from the entire supply chain or operations process. So it can be an add-on to the current system. They may need some extra investment, otherwise they end up with a manual process. So the manual process may not efficient enough or not continuously. We have actually talked about the retailer operations through the entire semester. So stock management, inventory control, forecasting, supply chain collaboration, everything. So in this lecture here, we try to focus on the store level waste management or handling. So here we got 10 ways retailers can manage waste. So that's actually beyond the daily operations, is more focused on the actual or physical waste generated daily. So here let's see the first way, try to minimize excessive packaging. And when your customers make a purchase, this can be as simple as asking for customer for a bag instead of assuming that they do. So this actually has been done almost in all the Danish retailers, I believe, and encourage the use of reusable shopping bags. So you often see people now use plastic, not plastic bags, it's a stuff bags or clothes bags. And then when possible, ask your vendors to reduce bulking packaging. So this actually changing in the supply chain level. Ask the supplier to break the packaging so you could also encourage the use of packaging that's reusable. And the merchandise that may be slightly damaged or outdated can be donated to our organization or charity. And then all can be sold at a discounted price and so on. So place recycling bins inside your store, and then in the break room outside near the entrance to give customers and employees opportunity to throw their waste into a recycling can instead of just the trash can. So invest in a cardboard baler for your stock room, so you easily bale your own cardboard or other recyclables as merchandise comes in. Even in a smaller stockroom, space-saving vertical balers will help you reduce the size of the recyclables. We can also see often in the retailer stores, in the supermarkets, there are the big trucks come to transport the compacted, the big packaging materials, and that means actually the supermarkets has already baled the packages into the compact piles. So continuously we see the educate your staff on what they can do to reduce, reuse, or recycle. So not only while they're at work, but also at home and on the go. So that's actually in the training level, to train staff to be environmental consciously. And use, purchase, and promote products that are made with recycled materials. So customers who are environmentally conscious will appreciate having a green alternative to buy from you. And then nice, promote buyback programs or upcycling programs to encourage new sales with a trade-in of old products that can be recycled, reused, or donated. And then use digital marketing to reduce paper waste. So that's actually a lot of different ways you can think about. There's many more. Here, just some examples. In the Danish market, we can see actually most of retailers have actually adapted all these different methods. So here we're talking about food waste. So first, let's see the causes of food waste in the supplier and retailer interface. So this actually is from article, the causes of food waste in retailer supplier interface, evidences from UK and Spain retailers. So there are a lot of research design or methodologies addressed in the article. So we just skip that. If you're interested, you just go through the article carefully. So here I would like to highlight the table 4 in this article. They're talking about the good practices to reduce spoilage found in the companies in both countries. So the good practices including actually A, B, C, D, E, F, G. There's 7 different main dimensions. So these dimensions actually mainly related to the management. We call it management root causes of waste. So in other words, these 7 dimensions actually shows where the wastes are often created, and then based on different dimensions identified in this article, they also summarize the good practices. So these good practices also obtained from the interviews. So now you can see from UK, actually from forecasting and ordering. So you can do collaborative forecasting, and then you can use forecasting software, and then suppliers use implants. So working at the premises of large retailers to help improve collaboration and reduce forecast error. So a lot of successful practices in UK retailers. In Spain, so you can see the forecasting managers are conservative when making orders, so just do not do overstock. and distributors buy in a high percentage based on the firm orders. Suppliers have daily contact with retailers. So that's actually a type of collaboration. And the others can see performance measurement and management. So in Spain, the Spanish way of managing own brands give a higher control in store, which reduces waste. So here the performance measurement and the management related to the waste mainly refer to overemphasize service, customer service levels will lead to overstock. So to focus on the economic contributions and then ignore the waste generated hereby. And then you can see this the rest also including the cold chain management and the training of the packers or retailers, employees, and so on. And the packaging management, promotion management. So promotion management may be addressed in your pricing paper, but here as very important, the retailers can do an analytical analysis. So here the promotion not only increase or change the consumer's purchase pattern for the promoted items, is also related to the cannibalization to other non-promoted items. So it's a very sophisticated process. So here the waste is often caused by forward buying of forward purchase. And then you can see this actually in the guest lectures talk as well. So shelf life management. So this is actually very important when we're talking about the stock management. So the buyers should know exactly what is the shelf life of the items. So for the perishable items, normally they have a short life cycle, and then if you waste too much time on the transportation, or you just directly buy the product with an even shorter shelf life, then actually easily you cause excessive waste. So that's very important to know about the shelf life of the items and be able to track the stock shelf life. So it will be interesting for you to read the article to know more about this. So now let's talk about the potential for the positive environmental impact from your waste management. So first, let's see the food waste actually from the wholesale and the retailer sector are estimated to 3.7 million tons in EU 27. And the impact of food waste from European retailer sector is estimated to be at least 7.3 megaton of CO2 emission. And then you can see waste management is a common area of activity in the Nordic food retailer sector, due primarily to EU legislation and other existing regulations in this area. So in Sweden, ICA has set the goal to recycle 98% of all waste from its warehouses. In Norway, retailers have focused on recycling of waste and decreasing the amount of residue waste. And activities on waste prevention mainly include systems for refillable bottles, for soft drinks and beers, reusable shopping bags. So S Group has renewed its discount system so that all goods close to their expiration date are sold at a discount, reduce food waste by 14%. So given the significant amount of waste generated in the food waste, so the food waste management systems or plan will definitely contribute to the environment improvement. So that's actually very important in almost all the retailer sectors to consider or to think about. So here is a root cause analysis using by CRT on the current reality tree in UK, how the researcher actually interviewed the retailers in order to discover the root causes of the food waste. So here we just see these orange blocks is the main management root causes of waste generation. You can see the A actually is I cannot really read this graph, this figure, so you can go to the book, the article, and retrieve them. So for example, the B is forecasting, and then we have the I is packaging, and F is quality management, and then you can actually see in another word, if you work on these root causes and then to try to, for example, improve the packaging manage packaging materials management or transportations, they will definitely contribute to the reduction of the waste in later on. So the guest lecture will talk about the waste management in reality. So here we have an article. So here you can see disclosure and assessment of unrecorded food waste and retailer stores. So from this article, you can actually see this is a master thesis, and then so the conclusion is the companies, actually the retailers, can improve their waste recording routine so that disclose and record more food waste. Then they can also lead to better waste management. So in Blackboard, I also uploaded the document about food waste avoidance actions in Denmark. So here I just post this table 1, an overview of food waste avoidance actions in Danish food retailer stores. So now you can see action type, including price and pricing, and from the product related waste, so packaging or product development, and the units, so selection of items in small packages, selection of items in packagings of mixed items, and communication and food reuse, collaboration and reuse, and then in-store management, implementation of technology, ordering and planning, designated areas for suboptimal food items, designated areas for suboptimal food items of mixed product categories, placement of suboptimal food. So now you can see these different actions has been applied or taken by different retailers. So here you can see the food waste communication in store outside of point of sales, actually used by 4 retailers. And then selection of items per weight by 4 retailers. So that's actually have the 7 retailers adapt the designated area for suboptimal food items of the same category. So that's there's a lot of interesting findings or the discoveries about Danish retailers or food retailers. So if you're interested in food waste management, it will be very important to go through this document. So that's all about the waste management we would like to talk about. So it's a really no series. So I would like to just conclude. So the stock and waste management is closely related topics. So if we purely talk about reuse and refill, or then that's actually probably a little bit different from the stock management. Otherwise, entire stock management will always related to your waste creation or reduction. So the well-designed stock management system will definitely contribute to the waste reduction. That's also the purpose of this course. Hopefully, you will become self-conscious regardless of where you work in the business, as a purchaser, as a demand planner, or even as a store manager. So you should just know everybody or every aspect in the supply chain should be responsible for waste management.